Vincent Teoh over at HDTVTEST in his recent video is doubling down on the so-called capped 32 gigabit per second bandwidth of HDMI 2.1. Isn't it funny how he can sit here and try to say that it matters for PlayStation, making video after video after video, trying to justify this? Okay, let's kind of talk about the fact that all of his videos about PlayStation are really negative. He's got like one negative Xbox video just to seem unbiased. And then everything else is basically promoting it, right down to having like an analysis and showcase basically with Assassin's Creed Valhalla, the best settings for Xbox, the best TVs for Xbox. He's propping up the Xbox. And my oh my, LG and Xbox just entered a partnership. And my oh my, who gets VIP treatment from LG? Vincent. So it's in his best interest to promote that combination because the more Xbox gamers he creates, the more LG OLED owners he'll create because he'll make more money, he'll get that commission and keep getting that VIP treatment. That's what this really is about. But yes, we know, it's just a quantum conspiracy theory, right? So let's go back in the annals of time and look at the fact that he says 40 gigabits per second is enough on the LG C10. And again, that he was never in doubt. So it's okay for the C10 not to have the full bandwidth, but when it gets to PlayStation 5, it's capped at 32 gigabits per second, and he makes this big deal about it. The truth is, he doesn't really care. And the reality is, if you want to be future-proofed, get the full 48 gigabits per second. That's common sense. That's the whole reason you go HDMI 2.1 for future-proofing. If you don't really care, dude, just get a good HDMI 2.0 TV because you get 1440 at 120 hertz. And most of the games that are going to be 120 FPS are going to support that. Now, there are those people out there that want the 4K 120, and if you want to fully realize that the best you possibly can, make that full leap into a full 48 so it can carry you into the future, because HDMI 2.0 is about future-proofing. But again, Vincent doesn't care about that because he says, to his own admission, that 40 gigabits per second is enough. Let me remind you guys that this is the same guy that rushed 10 days after the PlayStation 5 launch to make this only 32 gigabit per second video. This is the same guy that, oh, and by the way, there's a reason I pointed out that time frame, because he's trying to smear PlayStation so that, again, more Xbox owners are created. Because the reality is he doesn't really care, because by his findings, Xbox is only 40 gigabits per second, right? And if that's his finding, then guess what? It's not full 48 gigabit per second HDMI 2.1 either, is it? But again, he doesn't care about that. All he cares about is, again, crapping on the PlayStation 5 and promoting the Xbox. And the reality is, when you look at the fact that Sony hasn't even issued out their VRR patch, but he's talking about only 32 gigabits per second, he's testing performance modes before the VRR patch, he's only testing one game and not testing a bunch of different games, and again, refusing to reach out to Sony to get official confirmation. This is just everything HDTVTEST does, and this is typical HDTVTEST.